Hello, everybody. I hope you have found your seats because this train is about to get moving. We are 2-1 currently in our league, and we're just going to jump right into match 4 here. So, without further ado, let's get in here and play some Magic. Now, we've been fortunate enough to be on the play a couple times now. I wasn't keeping complete track. I don't know if I expect that luxury here. But apparently the universe will provide, so we'll be on the play. Definitely being on the play all these times has been a great advantage, so I'm definitely happy to see that. This hand's pretty good. We get a turn 2 Explore. I'd rather this be a Azusa or something along those lines, especially a Dryad, especially since we are against Lurrus, but Explore is the next best thing. I think turn 1 Grazer is good enough, so we'll definitely keep this. It's a lot of bounce lands. They'll end up being great if we draw an Amulet. But yeah, I think we have enough speed here. Explore helping us cantrip further to find a little more support. I suppose if we see a discard spell and can't find another Titan, then that could be problematic, but Arboreal Grazer is going to be good against Lurrus Shadow, or against like Red-White Prowess, or Burn, or whatever might be playing Lurrus. It's not quite as good against Scales, but it still ramps us a bit, and Scales I've found to be a pretty good matchup, so yeah, I think Grazer is going to line up pretty well here. Our opponent's still deciding whether they want to keep their 7 or not. They must be looking at a difficult one. And they keep. Okay. So here we go. Turn 1 Grazer. So next turn we have Explorer lined up. If we happen to draw 3-drop, we can play it off of this breeding pool. Thoughtseize. Interesting. I feel like they probably have to take Titan here. If they had led on Inquisition, it probably would have been worse for us, actually, because then they could Inquisition this Explorer before we get the chance to play it, and then Thoughtseize away our Titan later. Ancient Stirrings is not terrible. I'm going to lead off on the Explorer first, because, to be honest, I don't even know if I want to cast this Ancient Stirrings. Because if we find an Amulet, then we don't want it to get discarded. So instead, I'm just going to play this Breeding Pool tapped, I think. There's no reason to expose anything. Oh, we get an additional land drop as well. That's totally fine. Get the Sanctuary out there. I almost forgot the extra land from Explorer there. But yeah, still, since we don't have any untapped sources after we Stirrings, there's no point in Stirrings, because if we find an Amulet, then we can't play it, and we kind of want to find an Amulet over any land except for maybe a Tolarios. If there weren't a possibility for something like Monastery Swiftspear to be in their deck, then I might swing with the Grazer for the meme value, but I don't want to lose any life points because of it, just for a silly little joke, so sometimes I will do that just to amuse my opponent, or just to amuse myself, to be honest, when I know that it's safe, but no reason to be risky about it. Cling to Dust, eh? Interesting. Mountain. So yeah, where this is more of a prowess build. Interesting. I'm not sure if I put them on Death Shadow or not. That Summoner's Pack's a great draw. I'm gonna start off on the Stirrings. See what we find. There's the Amulet that I was talking about. Yeah, let's go ahead and take that and get that into play. And then I guess we Stirrings again here. Vesuva's fine. Not really expecting a whole lot there. Yeah, I'm just gonna play out the Breeding Pool, I think. And we'll be good if they don't have another draw spell. If they don't have another discard spell, that is. They could. Obviously, it's not what I'm hoping to see. I mean, even if they discard this Summoner's Pact, though, we could still just immediately draw another Titan, so. Although we don't have a Dryad in play quite yet, so. So this Titan has a little work to do on its own. I think just being able to haste it and then immediately get a field into play and probably a bog, if they don't already play this Lurrus, then that might be good for us. If they don't play the Lurrus, then then Bog exiling their Bauble might be a good play. But if they go ahead and commit the Lurrus here, then the likelihood that they crack this Bauble immediately is pretty low. If they're playing around the Bog, at least. Push my Grazer. Interesting. I mean, we also don't want to lose our Titan to, like, double bolt here, which is not completely unreasonable. Second Amulet is pretty amazing. Yep. Well, in that case, they're probably just straight up dead. So, that's pretty good. So, yeah, we'll untap this. We'll untap it again. Untap it again. Okay. So, we're going to get 6 mana from a Titan if we get T-West and something else. So we have 2, 6, so that's 8. Plus another 6 would be 12. So it's not enough to play 2 Titans here. So in that case, I'm just going to get the 1 Titan. And on this 1 black mana up, I'm not really thinking there's anything to play around, so we'll get our Titan. I don't know if it matters how we float here. I'll just do it like this. Second Amulet was pretty good there. I think even without the second Amulet, we were doing pretty well, but... So we can double haste here with our Stronghold and our Garrison. And this is looking a lot like good game to me. I really don't expect them to have anything here, so... And because of the fact that we play a second Vesuva here, I mean, I guess we could have gotten a Gruul Turf anyways, but our Vesuva copying Boros Garrison here will allow us to double strike as well, so... Yeah. I wonder what they're sitting on over there, because they floated a mana like they had something here, but... do I want to get the Vesuva into play? In the case that they don't happen to have... Or in the case that they happen to have something for the Titan, I think I'd rather get a Gruul Turf, I guess. So the second Vesuva is still in the deck. Since this will allow us to Sun Home anyways. Yeah, this is fine. And we'll stack both the Sun Homes here first, so... Like I said, I'm not really playing around anything here. I don't really expect them to have anything, so... I guess they could have Dismember. Lightning Bolt. Don't... I guess that does save them to some extent. And here we'll pick up the Sun Home, I suppose. And now they're left at 2 life. Well, we could lose our Titan here, and then we're looking in bad shape, but... Hmm. I mean, I'm definitely not blocking with my Titan. Here's Lurrus, I guess. Lurrus, to get a bobble here, doesn't seem like a super winning line. They just have to top deck a Bolt, I guess, if that's the case. So we might be fine anyways. Unless they just already have it. Oh, they have it. Okay. Well, we need to top deck again. We can pay this way, I suppose. We'll get the Stronghold and play preemptively here. Yeah, I mean, we could be in bad shape if we don't top deck something here. Maybe it would have been better to go for a safer line. I suppose instead of double striking there, we could have gone for a T-West line, like get T-West and Field the Dead, and that would have sealed it up. So maybe I was just playing a little overzealously. I go into 1. I say that as if that means anything. 2 is effectively the same as 1 in this matchup. I mean, they're going to gain 3 from the Lurrus if they attack. But if they do attack with both creatures, then I can potentially draw a Dryad, play and haste it, and then still kill them from 4, so... I think I'm honestly hoping they attack with both here. I mean, we have to top deck this turn, though. This is our last turn this game, so... Well, if they don't attack with both, then I suppose we maybe have another turn. We're going down to 7, so they would need 1 burn spell, I suppose. So it probably still is our last turn, even if they attack with just this guy. Has to be exactly Titan. 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 It's a Zusa. I don't know if that does anything. Don't think that it does. I guess it blocks. So we'll gain 2 here. And then we can gain another 2 with our Vesuva. We'll tap it like this. Let's see. So we have these 2 can activate Sunhome. This can activate Stronghold. So I think it's fine to play out Vesuva as a copy of the Fountain here. Hmm. Kiln Fiend. Interesting. Seal of Fire. That's pretty annoying. Yeah, unfortunately this only does the attack and not the toughness. So yeah, that kind of sucks. At least we still have another top deck here, potentially. Maybe we should have attacked with the Azusa there, because the first strike would have killed the Lurrus. I might have just missed lethal. Because I was thinking that if we attack into the Lurrus, they'll gain the 3 from it. Ugh. I did not consider that. Yeah, I definitely should have made them have it there. Because worst case scenario, they kill it, which they were going to do anyways, obviously. Alright, we need a tap deck again, even though I missed the good top deck we got last time. Creature. Alright. There is... I would say there's justice, but I can't say I really deserve this. What? I just conceded. Okay. That is alright. I mean, they didn't know it for sure, but they were dead that turn. I think Colossus can come in. I don't know about Tracker. I like Dismember, at least 2. We can possibly board out on a pact. I like having a maximum number of Primeval Titans to draw, as was exemplified in that game. If we had fewer than 4 packs and fewer than 4 Titans, then there's probably no way we would have been able to get that game. Explore. Explore's pretty good against the discard spells, actually. So I'm going to trim 2 Stirrings, an Amulet, because they probably have something like Smash to Smithereens. I guess we could cut a land. I'm just going to make it a Gruul Turf, I think, because they will probably have something like Molten Rain or Pillage. Maybe 1 pack, though I don't love it. And possibly another Amulet. I think another Amulet's probably fine. I mean, this matchup's pretty fast, though, so Amulet's pretty good. Hasting and attacking with a Titan the turn it comes into play is really valuable. It could be another Stirrings. Not in love with that. It could be an Explorer to hedge against their fast draws, which I don't hate. Although 3 Explorer is kind of a weird number. Beast Within. Probably not worth it for this particular matchup. I'm just going to go like this. I think this is good. I wonder why they conceded there. Maybe they conceded because they realized that they were dead to the Azusa, and so they think that I should have won that game anyways. That's a little forgiving, and I wouldn't want to put my opponent down or say anything as if it was a bad thing if that's what they did, but it doesn't seem particularly necessary. I wouldn't expect most players to do that. This hand is weird, but I think it's a keep. Because, I mean, if they discard our Amulet, we're super behind, but we can always use our Talari West to Dismember and then pick it back up with a Sanctuary, and then hope we top deck an untap land for a Dryad. Seems kind of loose, but... I mean, this could be a Baloth or a Colossus. We have Redundant Titans, which is good in this kind of matchup. I'm going to keep it, but it's kind of close. Man, I definitely almost threw away that game 1, though. I didn't realize that a Bolt would allow them to survive. I kind of assumed they would just be dead. But them having a Bolt and then untapping and having another Bolt was obviously great for them. If I had, instead of the Double Strike, gone for the Talari West and the Field of Dead, then it would have been much better for us. White, huh? I don't know if that means they're actually playing any white cards. Probably not. I think in this case it's just for the Canopy land, but... I mean, this is the kind of quick start that can be very dangerous. Luckily, if they play a turn 2 Kiln Fiend, we have it covered, so... For the time being. We'll play the TUS, I suppose. That way, if we want to, we can play Amulet and then Garenbrig the turn after, and be able to play something like a Grazer. This is the inverse of what you would usually do if you already had a Grazer in hand. It's kind of interesting. That's a lot of baubles. I'm glad this Soulscar Mage is not attacking. Taking 2 is much better than taking 4 here. So now we have to decide if we want to play the Amulet at all, because exposing it to a Smash to Smithereens may not be a very good line. We can play the tap Garenbrig, and then next turn play Amulet into Bounce Land, and immediately play Dryad off of this Amulet ramp. And then if it gets killed, it's alright, because we still got our value out of it. And I think that's better, because if we were to play Amulet, at this point we'd just be holding up Dismember anyways. So, I mean, this also exposes the Amulet to potential discard, though. That's difficult, because if they discard our Amulet, we're super behind. But if they kill the Amulet, that's possibly even worse. I'm going to try to fade the discard, because if they cast a discard spell, then we can dismember a creature. Although then, because they'd have to have a land to cast a discard spell, so they'd be a lane closer to Lurrus. But they can't Lurrus back the creature itself until 2 turns later, because of it would be a 1-drop. I'm mostly referring to the Soulscar Mage here. So, it might be alright. Lurrusing back a Bobble is not as bad as Lurrusing back a Soulscar Mage, in my opinion. And this way we're playing around removal for the Amulet versus discard. I think they're way more likely to have the discard, to be honest. So I'm going to play the Amulet here, and we'll play this Garenbrig. We'll see. Because Smash to Smithereens is one of the few things that punches the Amulet line, but they could have Inquisition or Thoughtseize to take the Amulet, and then our hand just doesn't really function. So, Kiln Fiend. Interesting. Man, if this was Azusa, we'd have a Titan this upcoming turn. I think our Dismember is probably going to have to hit this Kiln Fiend, sadly. So I'm going to take the damage here. The question is, do we need to Dismember this Kiln Fiend on the instep? I guess we could Pact for Azusa, play Bounce Land twice. That's fine, I think. And they don't have anything to punish us at the moment. I think the play is going to be Dismember Kiln Fiend and go for the Pact for Azusa play. Although we could try to be more patient and play out the Dryad, but that's kind of bad if they have just like 2 damage spells. Let's see. So if we get Azusa into play, we're gonna play our Titan, get a haste land and the other land, and then we'll get to search for 2 more, and we can get a Bog as a black land, and then some other random to be able to dismember for 2 less life. If we get a Bog and a bounce land and bounce one of our tap lands, then we can then play the Dryad also. Or in that case, we could even actually get Valakut and another land. So I think it's going to be best. If we get Valakut and another land, then we're going to get 1 trigger out of the Dryad. So I think we do need to dismember this Kiln Fiend now. Sorry, it is a weird matchup at the moment. So here, now the Titan, obviously top decking the Azusa here would have been fantastic. That way we don't have to pay the mana this upcoming turn. Let me just double check, because sometimes I sideboard out Azusa. We did not do that. Okay. So yeah. There was one game I played, it wasn't on camera. It would have been funny if it was. There's one game I played where I went for a line that pacted for Azusa, planning to play 2 land drops, so that I could then pay the turn after. And I realized that I didn't have Azusa in deck, and Dryad wasn't enough land drops for that to work out, sadly. I'll pick up the Sanctuary here just because I want to have an extra bounce land in hand. Although this one can pick up the TUS anyways, and we'll still have a bounce land. I guess that's fine. So this is going to get the haste land, Boros Garrison, and Stronghold. And then we're going to get Valakut and a bounce land. We just have to make sure we keep all of our green sources in play for this Summoner's Pact we have to pay for next turn. As long as we can manage that. I mean, that's also assuming that our Dryad doesn't just stay in play, which is reasonable. I think the Dryad is likely to survive if if there's a Titan in play also. So we'll get Valakut and a green source here, I guess just Growth Chamber. So I guess we can yield to these. And we'll pick up a source that isn't green. So we'll pick up Garrison. Yep. And then we can play a Dryad and then play a land and get some damage through. So that's pretty good. And we'll play out, I guess, the Stronghold. I don't see why not. Oh, we don't have enough lands in play for Dryad. That's fine. Getting the Dryad into play is better than not. Now we lose pretty hard to a Blood Moon, but other than that, I think we're pretty much golden, so... And since we already have another Titan lined up, well, I was going to say I would block with this Titan, but... I mean, we'll see. It might just be dead anyways. I don't know if I'm in a stage of the game where I want to chump block with Azusa. I'm definitely going to block this Soulscar Mage. I mean, to be honest, this Titan's not going to survive if they have another spell anyways, so... And I don't want to just die out of the blue to a bunch of damage, like Lava Darts and stuff, so... Plus, keeping these two in play means that we will still be able to... Oh, kill the Azusa. Okay. Well, we're still going to get a couple triggers out of this Dryad and kill these guys, so I think this is fine. Alright, so we'll pay, like... this, I suppose. That way we have the ability to transmute T-West if we want to. We can transmute for Vesuva. Yeah, we'll pay. So, can we actually kill them this turn? If we make a blue with this, we use these three to transmute for Vesuva, play as a Valakut, and send 2 triggers at them, and then play another land. Yeah, they're dead. There's nothing they have for 0 mana here that stops this line, so... So we'll always yes. And always yield. And then, it doesn't really matter, we'll just play Breeding Pool. Yep. Alright. I'd say that worked out pretty well for us. We won the match. I'm a little surprised that my opponent scooped in game 1 there. There's no way they could have known that we had the Titan already lined up in hand, but... I mean, even if they didn't scoop, I think we had it there, so... And then this game was just pretty elementary. We're now 3-1. Kind of the classic so far. Maybe we can get that 4-1 again, or 3-2 is fine with me. But yeah, if you liked the content, leave a like, subscribe. I will be posting Match 5 as soon as possible. If you have any ideas for... Well, I can't really say any ideas, because right now I'm playing with the cards that I own, but if you have any preference between another league with Amulet and a league with Esper Control, I've been really slacking on updating the sideboard here. I definitely have to put some thought into how I would want to make this deck look to actually play through a league with, but especially since I've been on such a tear with Amulet, I don't mind throwing a league at Esper and seeing how well I can do with it. It's definitely a deck I love and enjoy, so if you love and enjoy Esper or just want to see something a little kooky, a little off-meta on camera, I think this deck is quite competitive as well. The only reason I'm not playing it as much anymore is because of Veil of Summer, which the deck really struggles against Veil of Summer because, I mean, Veil of Summer countering an Esper Charm that's trying to make your opponent discard 2 cards, and instead it's just casting the draw 2 cards mode on them. Man, that sucks. It just really sucks. So that's the reason why I kind of stopped playing it, but it's still a deck that's very near and dear to my heart, so if there's any interest in that, then I can do that as well. I can just play another league with Amulet. There might be some interest, I suppose, in trimming the second copy of Vesuva, perhaps, and playing another land in its stead. There are a couple times I've noticed where I thought like, in the moment, that having the second Vesuva was adding an additional option, but there were ways to do what I was intending on doing without the second Vesuva. Most notably, though, that never applies to specifically Valakut. There are times where, like I've said, oh, Vesuva gives us a white source, and instead I could have just gotten, like, a garrison or a Vesuva copying garrison, and the second one wasn't really necessary. Every time I need the second Vesuva for a Valakut line, that's the only line that would have killed them that turn. Although, I guess there could be an argument to be made that maybe I didn't have to kill them, but just set up a line that was unbeatable. So, I mean, that's possible, but anyways, we'll have to see. I'm looking into buying a second Vesuva in paper for this deck as well, actually, so I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, up until then, this is Redface Menace, signing off.